So I'm going to talk about a topic that is something that I deal with pretty often. Imagine you have a lot of things on your plate, right? And maybe some things are about to come through for you, or you're working towards certain things and you're seeing movement in some areas, and other areas maybe you're not seeing movement, right? How do you deal with that? What do you do? There's ways to prioritize. One of the things that I've found to be useful is actually just changing your environment, right? Like right now I'm out in the woods. Well, not really, I'm on a trail. I'm on a mixed-use trail. This part of the trail is. And it's just about sunset right now. You hear that? Listen to those birds. And it's really cool to have a place like this. It's actually in the middle of Miami. So you've got all this beautiful, wilderness and all this. I think this is a good trail to go on if I'm going to choose that one. But I think that's a little different. Beautiful sky out there still. Anyway, I like to change my environment. It gets you thinking. It gets you into a new frame of mind. I've been exploring a concept lately called dopamine loading, which is basically just a fancy term for doing things that are fun versus things that are not fun, right? Or that are rewarding, because our body has reward systems, right? We have different chemicals that we are able to experience the effects of, that are able to motivate us, right? And think about it, as a human species, we've needed to have biological drives, right, in order to motivate us towards certain things. And I'm not going to go into all of those, but let's just say there's chemicals in the brain. So dopamine is one of those chemicals that the body naturally produces, okay? And it uses it to say, attaboy, good job, It's supposed to be a reward thing. So like imagine if we're out here in the wilderness and the only way to eat is to forage for food or find it somehow, right? Hunt it maybe, potentially. And when you get that food, you get a rush of a reward chemical, right? That tells you that you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, and it motivates you towards that activity because it's been a positive reward, right? So that's been a new concept I've been. It was a video that I watched from a guy who was. Hold on, let me just do this real quick next to my head, and then that's autofocus lock. There we go. So there was a video I watched from a guy who was talking about it, and he says that what he does is he doesn't really eat a whole lot throughout the day. When he does eat things, they're like low carb, kind of like almost just not high carb, not high carb, high calorie meals, but just lighter meals throughout the day, and then just does like the difficult work, right? He'll do the most difficult thing the first thing in the day, right? And then after that, just kind of working away until a certain time period. So like he won't eat until noon, and then after noon he'll eat light meals and continue working on the most important things up until about 7 o'clock. So after that, he said that what he would do is just like he would kind of do the things that you might do to distract yourself, the things that you might do if you were, oh, look at this beautiful moon. The things you might, there's vines. The things you might do if you're avoiding work, right? So he would do those things, and like playing video games or watching, he liked to watch anime, he said, or doing like, or just eating food, like what the food he would eat after from 7 to 10 would be heavier food, right? Look at that gorgeous sunset behind me. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love beautiful weather. I love it. So yeah, he would do things like that just to kind of, it's like a reward for all the day's hard work. So he would watch his favorite shows, he would eat, heavier food from 7 to 10, you know. Maybe play a video game or something, you know. And just kind of give himself all of the things that essentially trigger that rush of reward chemical that your brain produces when you do things that you like, that are pleasurable, right? There's a jet off there in the distance, right there in the sky. Right there, yeah. And then look at that gorgeous sky. Oh my goodness, wow. You can't see the moon back there, but this tree is absolutely beautiful. Look at all those buds on that tree. See that? All those different colored buds. Yellow. All right, and see these wild flowers right here? Isn't that cool? That's really cool. Those wild flowers right there. Beautiful. And that vine, see how the vine reaches and it grabs something? Oh, and there's a bee. We don't want to bother him. All right. I have some tomatoes in my backyard that I planted along with a few other plants that haven't sprouted yet. And the tomato has a little vine like this. Wow. Gorgeous. Yeah, so a tomato will, the vines will actually grab onto something almost instantaneously. Like when you put it up to something, it pretty much clings to it right away, which is super cool. They're also one of the first plants to sprout. As soon as you start planting things, the tomatoes seem to be the most resilient. They seem to sprout the fastest and grow the fastest as well. You know, so you've got several things going on in your life, right? Like some of those things grow quickly and you see the results fast, you know, or in a time frame that doesn't leave you waiting, right? Other things grow a little slower. And you kind of find yourself either feeling like wondering why it's not happening, why things aren't working out as quickly as you'd like them to, or, you know, it may seem like they're not working out at all. Other things may, with certain things, it may have been a long, long time since you planted the initial seeds, right? Like the tomato plant. And you may be wondering, you might have given up hope that they're even going to sprout anything. And there's different types of situations, right? Like there's some where you're invested into those situations and you can't, and you're in deep, basically, like we are in these woods right now, right? Here we go. So I'm in these woods. Oh yeah, some of those situations you can just walk away from because you're not that deeply invested in them. Others, you kind of have no choice but to continue, right? And you may still have hope or believe for the best outcome in those situations. You may still believe for the best outcome in those situations, right? You may have not given up hope. Or maybe you have. Maybe you've just decided that it's not going to work out, and either you're invested in it and you can walk away, or you can't and you're just kind of just reluctantly going forward, right? Okay, so I say all of this because life is a collection of those types of situations. Situations that don't happen as quickly as you'd like them to. You're surrounded by, depending on where you live, right? Like you may be surrounded by a lot of people who haven't made much of their lives, and if that's the case, I would suggest that you think about finding ways to get out there and find experiences that resonate with you, okay? You've got all these different situations that happen throughout life, and a lot of them require patience and time, and they don't necessarily work out as quickly as you'd like them to. Look at this whole pond situation. Look at that. And there's like a whole tree that I think the roots came up from the bottom there. And then there's a whole little pond thing, little bugs scooting across it. I may just decide to turn back here pretty soon, we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, now it's getting a little sketchy, right? I'm still out here walking. Nobody's riding their bike, probably because they don't want to get stuck in a puddle of water or mud, right? Fortunately, this is a time after enough time has passed since it's rained so that it's not really like muddy or anything. But there's still areas from the last rainfall that are kind of muddy, right? And I just love using this whole walk in the trail as an analogy for life. So in life, you might have some things that have happened in the past that kind of rattled your cage, so to speak, right? Like left you wondering, how am I going to deal with things, right? Like this happened in the past, and then I don't want that to happen again, right? So how do I make sure that never happens again, right? Well, first of all, you can't. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are reluctant to go after the dreams that they have, the things that they want to accomplish, especially if they've experienced failure in the past, right? So what do you do? Well, I would say if you want to push past that point where maybe you're either deeply invested in something or you're not, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you may have given up hope, you're not so sure that things can work out how you want them to. Toadstool at the base of this tree, isn't that cool? That is something else. It's right there. You guys, you know the drill. Run and talk. Here we go. So, you're dealing with a situation, you don't know how it's going to work out because you don't have, you may tell yourself you know what the future is, and that can be another technique, right? If you start to say this is going to work out positively. I know this is going to work out positively. I don't know how, but it's going to, right? So that is actually a pretty cool thought exercise, one that I really like. And I think we're going to do that right now. We're going to do this cool thought exercise for the rest of this run. So, all right. So let's just do it this way. So here I am in this point in my life, right? I've got things I'm working on. I'm studying for an advanced degree. I have a family. I've got music projects. I like to do photography. I like to do research. I like to do investigations. I like to teach, right? Am I making as much money as I'd like to make? No. Will I? Yes. Okay, so now we're going to start with a positive mindset, positive beliefs that we're going to drive down deep into our subconscious. I don't have all the answers, but that's okay. I know that I'm going to make it through this. I'm going to take all the steps I need to take, and when it's hard, I'm going to try that much harder. You know why? Because that's where I know I can tap into my body's and my mind's natural reserves of reward. It's reward systems. Because when I do hard work, when I do things that are difficult that I don't want to do, and I succeed at them, that's rewarding. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to work on a paper that is kind of a drag to write. And when I finish it, I'm going to feel that sense of accomplishment. See what I'm doing there? I am telling myself the outcome. I don't have to know all the answers, but I just need to know what it is that I'm doing, that I'm convicted, I feel passionate about it, and I know that I'm going to feel good when I finish. What else am I going to do to ensure my success? I'm going to remove all distractions. I'm going to take away social media from myself so I don't look at it, so I don't waste my time, right? I am going to put on some music, maybe some nature sounds to focus, and I'm going to block off, even though I'm on YouTube making a video, I'm going to block off YouTube from my computer and my phone so I don't go on it and look at it and waste my time. Okay? I gotta figure out which way to go now. This is where we came from, right here. That's where we came from. Okay? Going back out the right way, there's the moon, right up there. Okay, so I'm gonna remove all distractions and I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna change my environment just like I'm changing my environment by coming here during this beautiful sunset and enjoying it, right? And in that new environment, in this case it's like a different room in an office space, that's been working for me lately, versus going to a business and spending extra money, which is kind of counterproductive. At times it can be productive and worth it, but I have to be careful that I don't spend extra money every time I switch environments, because then I'm pushing myself away from my goals instead of toward them. But it's just another thing. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll sit down, I'm going to work. Probably going to use some timers and stuff, and I'm just going to keep on pushing until I reach the other side. And when I do, I'm going to give myself a big pat on the back. Okay. I might just watch a little YouTube, try that technique that I was talking about, right? I might sit on social media for a little bit. I might strategize some things, maybe meditate a little bit, right? Anything besides the work task, but something that's kind of rewarding and fun, right? I'll do one of those things. And then I will probably just close the night out by doing some journaling and intentioning for the week, deciding how I'd like to see things go. Look at that beautiful sunset in the background there. Yeah, so that's it in a nutshell, I'm just going to intention what I'd like to see happen throughout the week, because tomorrow's Monday. And I'm just going to close things out, try to close it out at an early enough hour so I can get enough rest, right? Also a very important thing for productivity and longevity is getting enough rest, right? And then when I'm done, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and do it all over again, but I'm going to do it with intention. Whatever I do, I'm going to do with intention, because that's how I'm going to reach the other side, you guys. That's how I'm going to get out of these woods that I'm still kind of a little bit lost in right now, but eventually I'm going to reach the other side, right? Trails look very similar in some parts, so the best thing you can do is just keep going. Keep going. I can tell that little bump up there is a place that I've been already, so I keep going, right? I don't let the fact that I'm feeling lost or unsure stop me. I keep going. And that is what's going to make it work. And I'm actually just going to keep on doing this video until I'm done doing this walk, because I just want to do proof of concept, right? Like, let's see me reach the other side. I know it's not that impossible of a situation, right? It's pretty simple. Like, I'm just walking around in a trail that I've been on before, but I will say I'm not really sure exactly where I'm going right now. I think I'm actually going to pop out here. I'm just going to go here because I know this is the area between the trails. And I keep going down here until I get all the way down there, and there's exit. So that's the plan. We improvised. But I didn't know that was coming up. I just knew that I'd figure it out. You hear those crickets? Isn't that beautiful? We're out. And we're out.